welcome back to Clair to Lune from scratch. All right, so this is measure 37, part 2. We're kind of doing a little more analysis of this. Let's kind of go back to basics a little bit, and let me just kind of map out the notes for those of you who need some help with that. Okay, so let me just, for right now, I'm going to get rid of these fingerings so that we can focus on the notes, because I am going to show you an alternate fingering in just a second. Okay, so a little bit of note mapping here. Again, we're in the G clef territory. So here, that's the note over here. The lowest line is U, E, D, C. So we've got C over here, but since that's one of our sharp notes, okay, that's going to be C sharp, and you can see the note right next to that is a B natural. We don't have any flats anymore, so that B is just played as is over here. So B and C sharp. Because of printing clarity, notes that are adjacent are written next to each other like this. So these are actually played together. Okay, so quickly mapping out the rest of the notes. That bottom note is an E for ew. Okay. Great, G, so that's a G sharp, being one of our 4 sharps over here. Great, big, all of our line notes over here, so that's pretty easy to find. So that's, okay, again, as you noticed, as we kind of mentioned in the last lesson, from here to here is an octave. For a lot of people, that's very uncomfortable. Let's go ahead and map out the rest of our notes, and then I'm going to show you the fingering. Okay, so now let's continue on. Here, that's an E for U, okay, and below that, or C sharp, okay? And these are played together, E and C sharp. Line notes, so that's a G over here, G sharp. Great, big, that's a B over here, right above the big. Is a C, which turns into C sharp. Again, just kind of keeping in mind those 4 reminders over here. Okay, and now we have E on the bottom over here, okay? E and G sharp on top. Pretty easy. Great big, B over here. Remember that C, so C sharp again. Following that up, it goes up to an E. And so as we mentioned again, I keep saying this, but octave, 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 okay? So you can see that these octaves were meant to, for the traditional fingering, was meant to take advantage of the octave shape to kind of find the notes easily. The main problem, though, is that the physical shape of the black keys in between those octaves is really uncomfortable. So for people, and many people have this problem, their 4th and 5th fingers just do not stretch as wide to kind of go over that those obstacles. So for people with short hands, or with just even with larger hands that are just inflexible, you can find yourself kind of ramming yourself into these black keys in an uncomfortable way. So here's an alternative fingering that's going to take advantage. As we did earlier, we're going to use our right hand to kind of come to the rescue of the left. So here's what's going to happen. Let me just draw out what's going to happen first, and then I think you'll see how this is going to work. The right hand is going to come down and scoop this note together. Okay? Right hand's going to come down and scoop this note together. Right hand again kind of come down and scoop this note together. So essentially what's going to happen, I could take this note over here and kind of redraw it over here. So we're just going to move that B up there. Here, same thing, I'm going to move that C sharp up here. And this E, I'm going to move up here. So you see how I'm drawing that over here? So I'm just kind of moving these notes up, okay, to the right hand. So let me do this. Let me erase these other fingerings that this is the traditional fingering that we worked on last time. Let me get that note back in there. Oops, kind of got rid of some more than I intended. That's a G sharp up on top here, E over here. Okay, so now let's take a look at how this is going to work. So what we're going to do here, let's do the right hand first. And I'm going to show you first here, C sharp. Now instead of going to the octave comfortably, you're going to just jump down, okay? And play those 2 notes together like this. 2, let me just change my fingering color. 2, 1, and a 5 over here. All right? Now, we're going to then repair the next 2 notes as an octave over here. Let me just change the kind of finger color here. 1, 1. If you notice, 1, 5. If you notice from here to here, again, E to E is an octave. So what's going to happen is you're going to have, see how that works? So starting from the beginning, you're going to play these 2 together, 2, 1, 5, and then find your octave that way here, okay? Now, going on to here, fortunately, we kind of have the octave built in if we're playing the C sharp with the right hand. So again, 2, 1, and a 5 on top here. Okay, and then the next two notes, again, will also be an octave from here to here. So that works out really quite nicely. 1, 5, G sharp. So it looks like this. And now, okay, see how that works? Now, the next part is not going to be an octave, but still I think it's going to be useful since your hand is already used to jumping. We're going to keep the same fingering pattern for the next portion as well. So again, 2, 1, 5, and again, fortunately, from the bottom note to this note is an octave. This next portion will not be an octave, but we'll still keep the 1, and we're going to go to the 5 in the next measure as we learn that. Okay, so that's the cheat. That's going to be the next note, okay? Now, let me show you what's going to happen to the left hand. So what that gives us the advantage, so instead of having to stretch a whole hand and twist your hand around for the octave, now we're just going to focus on a smaller shape here, since we don't need to reach quite as high. Now, I'm going to offer an alternate fingering for the bottom here. Some people find this uncomfortable, 4 and 5, okay, because the 4th and 5th finger are just weak fingers when paired together. So I'm going to suggest, if you want, if your hands are small enough, you might want to experiment with using 3 and 5 instead. So 3, 5, 2, 1. Okay? Like this. Same fingering for the next set. 3, 5, 2, 1. Like that. Give that a try. 2, 1. And then same thing over here. 3, 5, 2, 1. The thumb's going to be on the black key, but that's not a big deal. Okay? 3, 5, 2, 1. So those are some creative fingers. Let me show you how this looks for a smaller fingering hand, okay? Again, the pedal is going to help connect everything. So right hand comes up to the rescue. Move it to new position. To the rescue. See how that works? A little bit faster. Okay, let me do it. I think I played it wrong. Let me do it one more time. And it works quite well. And that's going to fit a smaller hand much, much better. Again, if you have a larger hand, go back and use the traditional fingerings. It's a little uncomfortable, but again, the advantage of the other fingering is that your hands can find the automatic octaves much more quickly. Okay, so I hope you have a chance to experiment with these two different fingering sets and let me know which one is more helpful. Okay, very good. I will see you at the next lesson.